I just bought the worst car in the world. And no, I'm not exaggerating. This thing has been roasted, ridiculed, and torn apart by auto journalists for decades. Some cars are ugly, some are unreliable. But these are disasters on wheels. Mechanical crimes that somehow made it onto the road. From exploding fuel tanks to engines that literally ate themselves alive. Today we're counting down the top 10 worst cars in US history. And trust me, number 1 was so bad, it nearly killed an entire brand. Number 10. The Pontiac Aztek. The Pontiac Aztek was supposed to save the brand. GM pitched it as the ultimate adventure crossover. A bold, innovative design for the modern explorer. Removable seats for cargo, a built-in cooler between the front seats, and even an optional tent package so you could camp right out of the back. It should have been a hit. Instead, it became a design disaster. With its slanted nose, awkward body lines, and cheap plastic cladding, the Aztek looked like a sci-fi experiment gone wrong. Critics destroyed it, customers ran from it. GM predicted 75,000 sales the first year, they sold barely 27,000. By 2005, Pontiac was begging anyone to take them off the lot. Ironically, the Aztek later became famous again, thanks to Breaking Bad, where Walter White drove one as a symbol of his sad middle-class life. But even TV fame couldn't save its legacy. The Aztek didn't just fail, it helped bury Pontiac for good. Number 9. The Chevrolet Vega. On paper, the Chevy Vega was Detroit's great hope, a sleek, affordable, fuel-efficient compact to fight off the growing Japanese invasion. In 1971, Motor Trend even crowned it Car of the Year, but within a few years, the dream turned to rust. Literally, the Vega's aluminum engine overheated, seized, and burned oil like crazy. Its steel panels corroded if you parked it in the rain. Dealers reported cars rusting in showrooms before buyers even drove them off. One critic joked, the Vega could last 100,000 miles, but only if you towed it the whole way. It wasn't just bad luck, it was bad engineering. And worse, it shattered trust in American small cars just as Toyota and Datsun were proving they could build reliable ones. The Vega's failure didn't just hurt Chevy, it hurt Detroit's reputation for decades. Number 8. The Ford Pinto. Cute, compact, affordable, and deadly. The Ford Pinto might be the most infamous car on this list. Behind that friendly face lurked a ticking time bomb. See, Ford's engineers placed the fuel tank right behind the rear bumper. And in even a minor collision, it could rupture, spraying fuel everywhere. Many Pintos literally exploded on impact. Here's where it gets dark. Internal Ford memos later revealed that the company knew about the danger. They calculated it would be cheaper to pay lawsuit settlements than to redesign the car. That decision turned the Pinto from a product into a scandal, a textbook case of profits over people. And while Ford still sold over 3 million units, the damage to its reputation was nuclear. Even today, the Pinto is remembered as the car that burned more than gas. It burned public trust. Number 7. The Cadillac Cimarron. Ah yes, the car that proved even luxury brands can screw up royally. In the early 1980s, Cadillac panicked. Younger Americans were buying sporty European sedans, BMWs, Audis, Mercedes. So, GM's bright idea? Take a humble Chevy Cavalier, slap a Cadillac badge on it, throw in some leather seats, and double the price. It was like selling a Happy Meal for the cost of a steak dinner. The Cimarron's 4-cylinder engine wheezed out a pitiful 88 horsepower. Reviewers laughed it off the road. Car and Driver wrote that GM had forgotten what luxury means. Time magazine called it a cynical marketing exercise. Cadillac hoped to sell 75,000 a year. They never even hit 25,000. By the end of its run, the Cimarron wasn't just a sales flop, it became a punchline. The moment Cadillac's once golden image turned to chrome-plated embarrassment. Number 6. The Dodge Ramcharger. The Dodge Ramcharger had all the makings of a great SUV. Big V8, bold design, off-road attitude, but once you got behind the wheel, it handled like a refrigerator on roller skates. It had a dangerously high center of gravity, a suspension that floated like a waterbed, and a rollover risk so bad even safety testers got nervous. Add Chrysler's legendary 1980s build quality, rust, electrical failures, cheap interiors, and you had a truck that looked tough but fell apart fast.
The Bronco and Blazer became icons. The Ramcharger, a forgotten footnote. Proof that muscle means nothing if you can't stay on 4 wheels. Number 5. The Oldsmobile Diesel. During the 1970s oil crisis, GM thought they struck gold. a diesel-powered engine that would save fuel and save America. But instead of building a true diesel from scratch, they took a gasoline V8, tweaked it a little, and called it a day. The result? Disaster. Engines that smoked, stalled, and sometimes literally destroyed themselves before hitting 100,000 miles. And since few American mechanics understood diesel systems, repairs often made things worse. By the mid-80s, the Oldsmobile diesel had single-handedly killed America's trust in diesel cars. While Europe embraced them, Americans ran the other way. Even decades later, the word diesel still carries that bad taste, and GM had no one to blame but themselves. Number 4. The Ford Edsel. If there's a Hall of Fame for corporate failure, the Edsel sits right in the middle. In 1958, Ford hyped the Edsel as the future of American luxury. They spent the modern equivalent of $2 billion launching it. The result? A car that looked like it was designed by committee and marketed by a circus. The toilet seat grille became an instant joke. It was overpriced, overhyped, and released right as the US economy slipped into recession. Ford hoped to sell 200,000 the first year. They didn't even crack 60,000. By 1960, the Edsel brand was dead. Ford lost billions, and the Edsel's name became shorthand for flop of the century. It wasn't just a bad car. It was a masterclass in how not to read your market. Number 3. The Lincoln Blackwood. Imagine a pickup truck, built for people who hate pickup trucks. That was the Lincoln Blackwood. Lincoln wanted to enter the luxury truck market, a bold idea at the time, but instead of a practical bed, they gave it a carpeted trunk with a stainless steel floor. Yes, carpet. In a truck. Great for golf clubs, terrible for hauling anything heavier than regret. With a $52,000 price tag, the Blackwood barely sold 3,500 units before being yanked off the market after just 1 year. Critics shredded it for being confused, overpriced, and pointless. While the Cadillac Escalade EXT eventually found some success, the Blackwood faded into obscurity, a shiny monument to bad ideas with good intentions. Number 2. The Yugo GV. The Yugo GV was marketed as the cheapest new car in America. At just $3,990, it sounded like an unbeatable deal. But the only thing unbeatable was how bad it was. Built in Yugoslavia, the Yugo cut corners on everything. Weak engines, flimsy interiors, and doors that sometimes broke off in your hands. Road and Track called it a disposable car. Mechanics joked you needed 2 Yugos, one to drive while the other was in the shop. Safety tests were terrifying. The car crumpled like tinfoil. Within a few years, it went from bargain to national punchline. The Yugo became a symbol of how cheap can actually cost you more. Today, it's remembered less as a car, and more as a cautionary meme that somehow existed decades before the internet. Number 1. The AMC Pacer, and now, the crown jewel of automotive misfires, the AMC Pacer. When it debuted in 1975, AMC called it the car of the future. It looked futuristic, all right, like a goldfish bowl on wheels. The Pacer's wide glass design gave it a unique look, but also made it unbearably hot in the summer and awkwardly heavy. Its proportions were strange, short and stubby up front, bulbous in the back. Originally, AMC planned to power it with a lightweight rotary engine, but when that deal fell through, they shoved in a thirsty inline-six that killed fuel economy. Critics laughed. Buyers walked away. By the early 1980s, the Pacer was dead. But in pop culture, it lived on, thanks to Wayne's World, where it became the ultimate goofy car. Today, the Pacer stands as a reminder of how trying too hard to be different can end up being a disaster. It wasn't just ugly, it was misunderstood, misbuilt, and mismarketed from day one. So there you have it. 10 cars that prove innovation can go horribly, hilariously wrong. Each one dreamed big, promised the world, and ended up as an exhibit in the Museum of Automotive Mistakes. But here's the thing. Every failure tells a story. Every flop teaches us something about ambition, design, and the risks of chasing trends. Without the Aztek, we wouldn't have today's crossovers. Without the Vega, maybe GM never would have learned the value of reliability. And without the Edsel, well, we wouldn't have one of the greatest cautionary tales in business history. So the next time your car gives you trouble, just remember, at least it's not a Pinto. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the worst cars ever made, hit that like button to fuel the algorithm, subscribe for more wild automotive stories, and drop a comment below. Which of these cars would you actually drive just for fun? Because sometimes the worst cars make the best stories.